And so
what I have.
pro practiced for 50 years, and that's the day they chose to do it. That's the
Just watching the people.
Just like the fair and everything.
Yeah, it was good.
The joy of watching this recording.
But you can see, and then go back in a couple of years and see some.
I was there.
People who live out there don't see it. One up in Rhineland
It's just amazing.
or at,
I've been to a few,
Like we music fest.
Second time I seen it, it's still,
Exclusive.
gives you goosebumps.
yeah.
That's good.
good company.
Take advantage of it when you can.
We went up
Great. So we got 6 o'clock here. He goes, oh boy, there's nobody here to ask if they're ready. Chief's not here. Tom Demean's not here. Christina, you ready?
Let's kick this thing off,
So
right?
yeah, are you ready? All right, let's get this thing going.
Here. Brunchman. Schulte.
Here.
Cardano.
Here.
Kane. Here. Prince.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Knudsen.
here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the council will receive information on non-agenda topics brought before the council by members of the public. The council will not discuss these topics and will not take action on any of this meeting. Is there anyone who's on the agenda who should be heard? Yes.
Matt Bushweiler in Reedsburg. One second here. Today, the use of social media is relatively the equivalent of a public square of our early American history, where citizens' free speech rights are at their highest level. The public forum doctrine, according to Justice Owen Roberts' opinion for the industrial organization in 1939, in which he wrote, "Wherever the title of the streets and the parks may rest, they have immorally been held in trust for the use of public and time out of mind, and have been used for the purposes for assembly, communicating thoughts between citizens, and discussing public questions. Such use of these streets and public places has from ancient times been a part of the privileges, immunities, rights, and liberties of citizens. We are glad that the city of Reedsburg has since November 25th, 2010 embraced social media to inform and interact with its citizens in a public forum." At this time, I'd like to approach the side of the table.
Sure.
I'm just gonna take one and pass it down. I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but citizens were able to use the city of Reedsburg social media Facebook page as a public forum to voice their opinions directly on every post until the transition of unconstitutional practices from the Reedsburg Police Department Facebook page to the city of Reedsburg Facebook page occurred in March of 2019. While it started off small, citizens have been deprived of the chance to respond to our government's posts, even though we hope to continue commenting on those posts from the city of Reedsburg in the future. Recently, we've noticed a significant influx of where on the Facebook page where things are turned up, comments are turned off halfway through posting. Comments are being archived and or deleted. I would just like you guys to, you can read the rest of the letter, address it. This was written by myself with the assistance of the ACLU and a firm that I do contracting work with. So if there's some case law in it and stuff like that as well, create a reference along with some samples at the end. And I would like to note too that after this was finalized, the Facebook page had switched to turn off all comments now as of 6 days ago. So there are no comments permitted on any new posts within 6 days, any of them that have occurred from 6 days ago to current date. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We will now go to consent agenda. One motion approves all consent items. Item 1 is approved minutes for the meeting held on June 13th, 2022. Number 2, approve denying application for a temporary Class B retailer's license for the Chamber of Commerce for the Concerts in the Park Series, June 29th through August 17th, 2022 at City Park, 222 North Park Street. And number 3, approve deny application for a temporary Class B retailer's license for Hill and Valley Exploration Tour for concert in the park on August 24th, 2022 at City Park, 222 North Park Street. Any questions on the consent, or I'll take a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Stevenson,
I'll second that.
seconded by Kane. Anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Recommendations from boards, committees, and commissions. Number 1 for the evening is from the Plan Commission. First reading and set a public hearing for July 25th, 2022 for ordinance 1943-22, rezoning South 2255 County Road H from the town of Winfield to R2 zoning in the extraterritorial zone. Brian?
So this property is in the town of Winfield. Apparently about 20 years ago, they had planned to build apartments on there, which of course never materialized. The current owner is building a single family residence on there, and they went to the EP zoning board last year. And the town of Winfield requested that if they approve the variance, they'd like to see it rezoned to R2 residential, which is a 1-2 family. So they own 2 tax parcels, and like they just have the one house that they're building on it now. So the town and the planning commission have recommended approval of rezoning the parcels to R2 zoning.
Any questions for Brian? Thanks, Brian. Discussion, or I'll take a motion to set public hearing.
Motion to set public hearing.
Motion by Kane,
Second.
seconded by Fry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll have that public hearing on July 25th. Number 2 from the Parks Committee is approve or deny negotiations to sell a portion of city-owned parcels 276-2201-00000. Tim?
Okay, thanks, Mayor. So I was contacted by Gavin Fenwick. He has a desire to purchase one of the city-owned parcels. Jake, I don't know if you can just scroll down to get that, so at least we can see a map. It's contiguous with the Popple Trail. The city currently only uses that for hunting land. This is what he had wanted, to kind of carve out a portion of that parcel. If you can scroll a little bit more, Jake, I'll get to maybe once more. There's a CSN in there somewhere. There you go. So that's a 21 plus acre lot that we own. He's requesting to CSM off 11.3 acres of that and purchase that from us. He runs a triathlon, a nonprofit triathlon. We'd like to incorporate the use of that triathlon with a kayak race. He can access the property from the property to the south, which is owned by a family member. There is no other access to that other than through our property. Again, we only use that for hunting. There's no trails in there. There's no vision for any trails in there. It's wet, it's not buildable. It would just basically be for his use for recreation. There is a bridge that's on the property that he would have to maintain that, obviously. It wouldn't fall on us. So I brought it to Parks just to see what the appetite was for letting this parcel loose, and I think it was, correct me, around 4-1.
Yeah.
Thought it would be okay just to cut it loose and bring it to you guys for your consideration. Gavin just asked me to ask you guys about it. I guess generally I'd like to know what your thoughts are about that, and then I'll tell you what his price offer was.
Can you start with the price offer?
You're not gonna be made rich over this. It's $12,430 for the 11 acres. I called Bob Gavin, asked him what he would put this at. And he thought that was a very fair offer for what this land actually is. So it would go back, like I said, you're not gonna get rich off of it. It goes back on the tax rolls. It brings in $285.18 annually.
Questions, discussion?
Zoned as recreation.
Yeah, I think it's some government, to be honest with you, so it would have to be.
The government now, what? The zoning on it would be recreation?
Yeah, that's what he said, but I want you to be aware that once you sell it, obviously you have no control. But there isn't, I mean, just topographically, there isn't a lot you're gonna be able to do there.
Is he requesting easements?
No easements, he's gonna access the property from the south.
Ridge?
Comments, discussion, questions?
So as Tim mentioned, parks, we had a discussion about it and, it's minimal use. There's no plan. Matt here. Yeah, he's here. There's that ditch you can see just to the east on that aerial photo. It's low ground. We have a lot of other areas that we would work on first to develop it. There's really not much there. This place is isolated by itself. I mean, you could walk through our property, but otherwise you're coming in from the river or the south.
And that would be floodway, correct?
Yeah, we're thinking,
I think, yeah, it's definitely wet.
So there would be no permanent structures.
No, like I said, you can't, yeah, I think the next, that C 3190, I think is a house up there, but that's.
that's a little cabin. It's actually a little cabin there. Yeah.
Just to the south.
And the treatment ponds from the lake, so you can see them just in the
In the corner there.
corner there. But they don't have access from that north road. I mean, they could negotiate it, but that's their deal.
Yeah, right.
Brian?
Yeah, it is floodway, but so you really I can build on it, but ordinance does require 40 feet of frontage on public roads, so we need a variance as well.
Thank you, good information.
He doesn't want to just do the triathlon on city property.
No, because I think he wants to do things to put, I guess, features into that he doesn't want us to be responsible for, and I don't want us to be responsible for.
Sure.
That'll be worked into that triathlon a little bit.
There's gonna be some kind of fence or something between our property and his, or just signs or
Yeah,
anything.
or something like that to keep people off there.
Yeah, I don't think we fenced anything else, Matt, do we? Just the signage. So what was, Brian, what was your comment about the variance with the frontage, 40-foot easement?
Yeah, normally when you divide off a lot, you have to have access to it, so on 40 feet of frontage, what the zoning ordinance requires.
So we would have to give him,
And if he's got, if he
Through ours?
if he doesn't have 40 feet on a public way, you gotta apply for variance.
Yeah, I think we probably get variance for that.
okay,
And just for record, it's open conservancy, so I think that's because it's more restrictive than government, I think we left it that way. So,
Tim, I noticed in your correspondence that there was a question of how we obtained the ownership. Could you fill us in on
I
that?
think when we got it all as one, like that whole area, and that was like, if you want this, you have to take this too. But I think that was the 70s, Matt?
70s or.
Yeah, so the documentation of that is kind of limited.
We purchased it, but there's no deed restrictions.
No, there's nothing that's required, like you have to keep it, is that what you're saying? Like you have to keep it for a certain amount of time, no,
Correct.
we couldn't find anything at least. Maybe you can look at the land chart or something, see if there's.
We could take a look. So is he expecting, like title insurance and or, anything like that, closing cost? Would that be his responsibility?
Yeah, all that would be related to him. Yeah, this is gonna be like a low cost thing for us, a minimal cost at least. I was thinking like we're claiming to just kind of get rid of it.
Yeah, quick claim would be nice just because, but it just says whatever interest you have, you're giving away as opposed to a warranty saying you have free and clear title with no encumbrances or restrictions.
give my 2 cents worth. Looking at it from both sides of it, they don't make land every day anymore. Once you get rid of it, you don't have it anymore. But on the other hand, knowing what Gatlin's gonna do with this, it is a very good cause that he's gonna be using it for. It will draw some more people to town. It's land that definitely is like a barren zone over there. I've walked that before. When we first started the boat hunting area back there, there's no way I was gonna walk all the way back there with how wet it gets, so. Pretty limited access. It gets pretty gnarly in there too this time of the year. So if anything, we'd probably clean that area up. Obviously, there's some issues with the variance and whatnot, but that could be cleared up as well. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
So can you help me understand, this is next to Popple area, or is, I heard Smith Conservancy as well?
No, it's not Smith. It's
Okay.
Popple, yeah.
Okay. Thought you'd said Smith at one point, so.
That's behind the pool, or that, going that general area.
No, it's just,
Back by that old bridge.
Because it's so low.
Oh, yeah, which is not,
Not much.
yeah, left, yeah.
If you want to give me that computer again.
Zone recreation. Could you just
without an access, you need to have,
an easement?
and the only way you get it is from the north.
Because
You can't put a
I
road.
want to show you guys that.
a bridge across that drainage. Come that way. Just thinking, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So this might help give you a little bit more perspective. It's right here. So we own this whole parcel here, so it basically kind of split it. Here's the lakeside ponds. And the Popple Trail is here. Well, does that help you a little bit?
Yeah, thanks.
Us having this extra deer hunting land for them. Because that's the ones who took advantage of it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But the neighbors are probably,
Make a motion to approve.
for them to get to it from that side.
I'll second. I have a motion by Gargano to approve. Seconded by Kane. Is there anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
And we'll go to city administrator's report, number 1, 2023 budget info.
All right, it's that time. Yep.
Good night, Christine.
Good night, we have another meeting, sorry.
No problem.
I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions, concerns about the 2023 budget. I'll give you a couple of things that are happening. With parks in 2023, we're gonna try to focus on some of our parking lots, specifically up in Nishan, to see if we can get those addressed. Public Works has a limited amount of projects. Next year, I think the biggest one is completing Laurel Street, which will help us in the park side, try to get more parking lots completed. I did talk to Associated Appraisal about a citywide reval because the values have changed so much, and what Dean recommended was that we look at a potential market adjustment, which is like a reval light. It isn't as in-depth as a reval, but in 2024. And we wait and see if housing prices kind of stabilize a little bit more and the value stabilizes before we do anything like that. And then in regards to inflation and the cost of living increases for our employees. Inflation, I checked again today, 8.6%. I was hoping you guys would let me at least take a look at a 4% across the board raise for employees, just to, in an attempt to make up maybe half of that, to see where we're at. Obviously, if the budget doesn't support that, then we won't go in that direction, but just your general direction, if I could just be able to look at that, I guess that would be what I'm looking for. Are there any questions or concerns about the upcoming budget?
What's a typical raise? Is it 2%?
We did 2 last year, and that was up from, I think, a few years ago, 1.5.
Just for example, the school district did 4.6 effective August 1st. This coming up August 1st.
I think, Jake, we had pass around from the side. It's a little all over the map, but it's between that 4, 6, and 7 range.
All right,
Okay, well, thank you.
thank you. Commission, committee, board and staff reports. Parks and Rec.
We met last week. We had a agenda item with the Butterfest Committee to start looking at things for 2023 and beyond. And then we discussed the parcel there up on the northwest end of the Popple. And then Matt just gave us updates, the CIP things. Besides the parking lots, the other big ticket item that's gonna be a discussion point is the tennis courts at Oak. Besides the normal day-to-day things, CEP was pretty standard. But the rest of CIP was pretty standard for parks, but the tennis courts and then obviously the big parking lots.
Plenty going on.
Yep.
All right, let's see, Public Works,
We did not meet.
Utility Commission.
Utility Commission met for the regular meeting on the 20th of June. We completed our voluntary PFAS water sampling, which is not state mandated, but the utility has opted to do that. Results should be available in about a month. All things water, the 2021 Consumer Confidence Report is completed and available on our website. We have great water in our town. Laurel Street Water Project is underway. Lebansky will be what, later, Steve, end of the month? It started today, okay. Electric department assisted the high school house flipping class to wire the upstairs of a house they're remodeling, so it helped out the class and gave them a little bit insight, some of these kids, as far as what's involved in the electrical trades. We also performed some infrared scans on our electrical system, found a couple of hot spots and are taking care of those before they cause an outage. Harbor construction has been going great guns with the weather we've had. Things are moving along in Bear Creek, Excelsior, and Fairfield Townships, and we're already turning up new customers in Bear Creek, so rocking and rolling at the utility.
Yes, they are. One more thing for a little kudos for them is they, I was not directly involved, but partially involved with, they donated their time and some parts to put the new backstop nets up at Webb Field for the baseball field. So, yeah, it was nice to see Juggy and the guys there. They donated their time and their efforts, so.
Good.
Awesome work by them guys. Planning Commission, we had a pretty healthy meeting this last month. I had to bring it back up to make sure I didn't forget anything. In addition, at Saputo Cheese, we looked at for site plan review. New solar panel installation at Pineview, that's being taken care of. Solar panel installation for Utility Commission on Industrial Street. New storage building for Reedsburg Salvage. Concept plan for an outside addition at Jay's Pub and Grill. And then the ordinance that you guys are looking at here for that zoning change. So yeah, we had a pretty good meeting. A lot of neat things coming up, more expansion here in the city. So a good plan commission meeting. I think next month we'll probably be talking about comprehensive planning again. I think, are we right? Perfect. All right, this is library board.
Library board will meet next month again.
Zoning board. CDA.
No meeting.
Board of review.
We met last week and we had no hearings this year.
Very good. Any other committee, commission, or staff member with anything you want to report? We'll go around the horseshoe. Tom Stevenson.
I'd like to commend the Parks and Rec and probably the Public Works for moving the dog park from its old position down to the new one. I think it's they've done a very good job down there. We got restrooms, we got water and everything. I think it'll be a real good asset for the city. So, and for the person that gave money to help move it all. So thank you.
I heard a lot of good comments about that, and the shade is huge, which is nice for them down there. Dave Knudsen.
Happy Independence Day.
Phil Peterson.
Very well said.
Missy Friends.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Nothing tonight.
Derek Harkin.
No, thank you.
Jacob Lee Hall. Tim Becker.
Nothing, sir.
Mike Cardone.
Nothing tonight here.
Jason Schulte.
Nothing tonight.
Darren Fry.
Nothing tonight, sir.
All right, I just want to touch again about Freedom Fest coming up next Monday, a week from today. Everything starts at 3:00, bands kick off then, and there's space bathing bag tournament. Reedsburg Pirates are playing, plenty of stuff to do, lots of great food to vendors to check out, as well as arts and crafts and home-based businesses will be set up as well. So make sure you get to check that out. I want to thank Marks and Rec with their help and Public Works as well. We can make sure we have everything we need for that, and the Reedsburg PD, Reedsburg Ambulance, as well. So I want to thank them for that, and the fire department is going to be there as well to make sure everything is safe. I want to thank everyone that came to and participated and helped with the Brat Bash and Dash this year. Final numbers are 2,240 brats and 90 hot dogs. And we didn't advertise hot dogs, but we had a large order for 180 brats as long as they could get 90 hot dogs. So we drove up 90 hot dogs. So it was a really well received day. It's a hot one, and I want to thank everyone that helped out and volunteered for that as well. With that, happy Independence Day. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Motion by Schulte,
Second.
seconded by Knutson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then thanks, all motion carries. Thanks, everybody.